All right. Okay, so we're going to get started. So welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. We're really excited to have you here. And what's been so good about being part of this Thermomix community is that when we were all put into lockdown, all the team leaders put their hands up to do something so we can all support each other and each other's customers, which that's what this Thermomix world is like. Someone's still not on mute. Could you please mute yourself?
That's classic Holy Moly.
I'm just going to mute everybody. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can hear me now. What I'm going to very quickly do is just run through the TM6 because there are probably a few people on here who don't actually have one. I'm just going to show you what it's like. But as I said, welcome. Very pleased and glad to have you here. My name's Mandy. I'm one of the team leaders and you're with my team. We are the multicultural mixers because we have people from all different parts of the world. We have India, Greece, Poland, Aussie. I'm from the UK originally. We've got Elisheva who's Jewish, so we're getting her bit of culture as well. And so we really enjoy all that whole mix of everybody. Okay, quick little tour of the TM6. So if you've got a TM5, it looks similar, except that we've got a bigger screen. If you don't have a TM5, obviously it looks quite different. If you've never seen one, or if you've got a TM31, it is quite different. But the screen here is almost the size of a mini iPad. We have time, temperature, and speed, which is what you also have on a TM5. Whichever one is large is what's turned up with the silver knob over here. So we've got our time, we've got our temperature, all sorts of different options up to 120. That's all on a thermostat, and we'll obviously go up and click off. If you want to steam, you need to be on varoma temperature, which is a rolling boil. Okay, this one is our speed, and I don't know if you can see that little dial, that little symbol on there. That means that the blades are going to go forwards and chop. If I hit that, it's going to be on reverse. So they're going to stir. So you'll see Pearl's making a risotto tonight, and at some point she will need to chop onions and things, and then later when the rice is in there, you don't want to chop your rice, it will automatically go onto a stir. So that's that. The other really cool thing about this, it is a smart connected kitchen. It has Wi-Fi in it. So there's no cook key on the side. We can just literally go straight into the internet from here. Just swiping this way, we have a whole lot of functions on here. I'm not going to go through everything because we could be here all night talking about them. Well, I could anyway. But we do have scales. The difference between these are, it is a 1 gram increment, and you'll see as we weigh things that it is definitely 1 grams. We've got dough mode, which is our kneading function. 2 minutes of kneading in the Thermomix is equivalent to 25 minutes of kneading by hand. We've got turbo, which is one of my favorites, and my customers all know turbo really well. That's for cleaning your blades off. If you make a dip or a cake mixture and you've got mixture left around your blades, turbo, you clean it out as much as possible, and then turbo will flick anything left from your blades onto the outside of the bowl, and you get a lot more out. It's also used for chopping, and it's also used if you want to have a really dry bowl. So wash and dry your bowl, and then turbo, and you'll find that any droplets of water that were on the blades again are flicked onto the outside, the edge of the bowl, and makes it easier to dry out. We've got the pre-clean function. This is so exciting. I have to show you this one. So this has 4 different settings. It has for dough, universal, fat or caramel, or browning. And the universal is the one that's used most. Obviously, it's universal. But basically, you put a bit of water in here, a little drop of dishwashing liquid, but or you can just use white vinegar. And if you're using the browning one, the highest one, just use the vinegar, not the dishwashing liquid, because otherwise it can start to froth out. All these modes have a little eye here, which gives you information about the mode, so you don't have to remember everything. All right, we've got an automatic blend. We've got the egg boiler. This is another really exciting one. I was talking to our new branch manager, and she was so excited about this. So basically, you can put eggs straight in. We've got the information here. You can put 2 to 6 eggs in here, and you can put water up to the 1 litre mark. And then all you do is turn this. You can have soft, medium, medium hard, or hard boiled eggs. Just walk away, come back to them. Love it. We've got a kettle mode. We've got a warm up mode, which is for warming up your soups and things. We've got thicken, we've got rice cooker, we've got fermentation, which is for yogurt, we've got slow cooking, and we've got sous vide. So sous vide is when you have something in a bag. It literally means under vacuum. So you have something in a plastic bag, you get as much air out of it as possible, and then it's a different sort of cook. So if think about salmon, for example, I'm cooking salmon tonight. With your sous vide, when you pull it out, it's cooked. It doesn't look cooked. It's a different sort of texture and feel. But there's some amazing sous vide dishes available. Okay, so those are the different functions. As you can see, we've got space here. So odds on, there's more on its way. I can go back to my home screen, and then if I swipe, swipe that way, I go straight to Cookie Do. So I can start searching for recipes in here, but we'll go through Cookie Do a little bit later on. So yeah, it's super easy. It's so convenient, and I'm starting off with the first dish, so I'm going to get going. Otherwise, yeah, as I said, I could talk about it all night. All right, so I'm going into my week where I have saved the recipe I'm making, and I'm doing the steamed salmon with broccoli pesto. All right, so start cooking. I've got to put 600 grams of water in there. So I generally do it like this. You can obviously have a jug here and pour in, but I just take my bowl, put it under the tap, and I'm tipping this a little under, we'll see. Yep, under. All right, I'm happy with that, because one of the things with when you're steaming, the basic rules of steaming are you have to have a minimum of 500 grams of water in there. You steam the stated time, which the recipe will tell you, so I'm just going to go into this in a minute. And it's usually on speed 1. In some cases, though, I know there's a recipe Irene's doing today where there's rice being cooked, it will be on a higher speed. So I'm going to put my simmering basket in. So the TM6 simmering basket has a lid on it. Always good to have the hinge closest to the front. Then I'm going to put in 150 grams of broccoli, which I have just broken up here. Gotta love the layered cooking. Get a whole lot of stuff done at once. Here we go. And that was a bit over, but I'm not one for leaving a couple of little tiny bits of broccoli left in the fridge. 1 garlic clove. Okay, position the varoma. So I'm popping my lid on, and I'm going to pop the varoma on top here. There. And then it says, place onto the varoma tray 2 skinless salmon fillets. Right, you can weigh them. So now with your varoma tray, you can put some baking paper over it. If you do that, then you do need to make sure that you wet it first, wring it out and pop it on there, because then the steam will come through quicker. But I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to cook 1 tonight. So I've got a beautiful salmon fillet here. I'll tear that just to see. Don't know what it weighs, but it doesn't really matter. There we are. That's pretty good. Okay, 1 pinch of salt, and I'm pretty sure there's pepper as well. So I'm just going to do that. There we go. Next, put my lid on. Next, we've got 12 minutes. It's going to go to varoma temperature. As I said, it's going to be on speed 1. Okay. All right. So we're going to head over to Pearl first. Now, next, Pearl is going to show us how to make Risotto Verde. Yeah, I've done it for you, Pearl.
Okay, I'm making Risotto Verde. Verde is in French, Verde is in Portuguese, and in English it's green. So a rose by any other name smells as sweet. So that's what is the conclusion of this. So today I'm going to make this. So let's start cooking. I'll just show you. Okay. Did something there. Okay, cool. So this is what I'm making. Let me go back and show you the recipe. This is the recipe. And we just press start cooking. So I'm going to put 50 grams of Parmesan cheese. In fact, I'm going to put a little extra because my kids like a lot of cheese in theirs. So I'll put a lot of cheese. Almost 100 grams, I think I have got. And the beauty is this is going to be my dinner as well. So this is the thing, it's 112 grams. And that includes a piece of lemon as well, which I have put there. Next. For 10 seconds on speed 9. Next, transfer into a bowl and set aside.
So one of the things we love about being able to grate our own cheese is that there are no added, no anti-caking agents in it. It's totally fresh.
So this is my grated cheese in 10 seconds. Oh, I just have to switch my cameras. So this is all grated in 10 seconds. It tells me to rinse and dry my bowl, because if there is any particles of cheese which are stuck under the blade, they'll burn when I'm cooking. So I'll just rinse it. Give me a second. With the next step. So I'm putting 150 grams of baby spinach. So this also might be a little more. That's fine. Next, some basil. Next. It's telling me with the spatula, with the aid of a spatula. So the advantage of the spatula for those who don't have TM 5 or 6, the blades will not get chopped. The spatula will not get chopped. It's made in such a way. Next. Transfer and keep it aside. Next, put 30 grams of onion or shallots. So I didn't have shallots, I put onion, the brown onion. Next, 2 cloves of garlic. I'm putting 4 cloves of garlic because we like garlicky flavor. Next. The thing is, you are in control of whatever you put. You can put whatever you want. That's the beauty of this guided cooking. It does not mean to say that you have to just follow exactly dot on the dot for whatever is put here. So it's telling me 40 grams of oil. That's fine. Next, insert measuring cup. Next. So on for 3 minutes on speed 1. So it's just going to cook it for on 120 degrees. So you can see.
Lovely. Thank you. We're over to Irene now. Please, Boone.
Hey everyone. Okay, I am making Thermomix Easy Satay Chicken. Can you type in the chat box if you don't use cookie dough? Now I'm using the TM5. I actually lent the funny enough, he's on the channel tonight. I've lent the cookie to my brother, so I'm going to do this manually. No big deal. So Easy Satay Chicken from the cookie dough platform. In here I've got fennel seeds, cumin seeds, coriander, turmeric, which goes in. Mix it. We're going to chop that for 30 seconds. You can't hear me talk, unfortunately, when the speed's up really, really loud. So trust me when I say it smells absolutely amazing when you grind your own spices, and the smell that you get is absolutely phenomenal. So definitely one of the pluses of having a Thermi. Okay, to this now I'm adding some fresh ginger. I'm using 1 red chili, and I'm using a couple of really large cloves of garlic. Again, another 30 seconds. Top speed, 10. Now I've only done that for about 8 seconds. You can actually hear it when it's done. So I actually don't need to do that any longer. It's going to get blitzed again a little bit later. So now I'm going to scrape that down. And ask me to add the remaining ingredients for the satay sauce. So in here I have my tamarind paste, oyster sauce, sugar, coconut cream I'm going to add, and I've got 60 grams of peanut butter as well. So that all goes in now. And with my coconut cream. That's going to cook for 3 minutes, 90 degrees, speed 1. While it's doing that, let's talk about this month's host rewards. Oh, sorry, this month's purchase offer rewards. So when you buy Thermomix this month, you get a copy of the Everyday Cooking the Thermomix family. So it's a family cooking. This has actually been pretty good. What's your favourite recipe from this one? Anyone? One of mine is definitely pizza bianca. But there's lots of stuff in here, and definitely one that we used to do in our old, anyone here's from a TM31 days, we used to do these lemon citrus cupcakes, absolutely divine. So all those recipes are in that book, so that's a purchase. You're also getting your hands on our food warmer. So our food warmer keeps your food hot for a couple of hours or cold for a couple of hours, which is absolutely fantastic. Anyone? Oh yeah, peanut butter. So I've used peanut butter that I've made myself. Anyone making their own hazelnut almond butters? Yes, good, amazing.
The other thing, Irene, is this month anyone purchasing a Thermomix goes into the draw to win back the cost of it. Because
they sure do. Yeah. They absolutely. So when you buy this month, you get an opportunity to win back your purchase. So this is the month to buy, I guess. It's fantastic. Okay.
The reason for that is it's 20 years this month since the Mix in Australia started. So they're celebrating. It's a big celebratory year, and this is the actual month.
Do we want to mention the mix shop offer for Victorian customers, or do we?
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So, and when does it finish?
12 p.m. on Friday.
So if you go onto the mix shop and you put in Victoria 15 as a code, you get 15% off the mix shop, which is absolutely brilliant. So if you're needing any accessories, obviously you can't buy food warmers, they are host rewards if you want to get your hands on one of those. So if you're already an owner, coming along to these demonstrations means you can get your hands on a food warmer, you can get your hands on our rolling mats, our pastry mats. So our gorgeous pastry mats. What else have we got? Got the meter in there.
Yeah, Tom's going to talk a little bit more about that, but you just need to be aware that not every single mix shop item is discounted at 15%.
It's not everything, but it's worth having a look.
Absolutely.
And it is exclusive to our Victorian customers, as far as I know.
It is. Perfect.
Okay.
Are you done there?
Yep, nearly done. Next stage.
Yep, next stage, and then we're going to go back to Pearl.
Fantastic. Okay. So this is going into my, that's my sauce. We're setting that aside. Oh, do you know what? I didn't blend it. That's okay. I don't mind it. But if you want it really smooth and creamy, then you do need to blend it. I'm not entirely fussed. Okay. I don't wash my bowl. All these flavors are going to go into my food anyway, so there's no need. So bowl goes straight back on. I boiled the kettle to try and speed up this process. So I'm adding, what is it? 1.2 litres. Hang on a sec. Yep, water 1.2 litres. Scales.
I love the fact that Irene's doing this manually, but doesn't it show you how much easier it is to cook off the screen?
Sure is. Much easier to cook off the screen. So water's in. I've pre-weighed my rice. My rice is in my basket. It says 400 grams in the recipe. I'm just doing 150. It's just me. Mum won't eat this. So my basket's in. Then my chicken goes into my varoma dish. That's 600 grams. I've cut them in about 2-inch cubes roughly. So really important when you put your chicken in, spread it out. I should show you actually rather than just doing that. So spread it out and make sure you leave some gaps for that steam to circulate in and around your chicken. If you block all those holes where the steam's got nowhere to go. So you can see there's a fair few holes in and around that. So that goes on top. We're going to cook this for 10 minutes on varoma. So you want to jump over to whoever's next and then come back.
Yep, over to Pearl. Oh, great. Pearl's ready and raring to go.
So I have put my rice in and it's telling me to use a splash guard. The splash guard is to prevent splashing, obviously. So I'm going to do that. And then it tells you have to press done. So for 3 minutes now, it'll saute my rice. So I'm just going to turn the dial and everything is set. So
beautiful. Thanks, Pearl. Now we're over to Tom.
Hello, how are we? So tonight I'm cooking the Stroganoff. So it's one of our staples in this household. So very much one of our favorites to cook. Can we just pop over to the Thermomix, please? Nope. Thank you. So we've got here, I've already scheduled it for my week for today, for the beef and mushroom strog. As you all know, you can look through Cookie Do and have a look at everything down there, but we'll hit start cooking. And first thing is to place the varoma in its spot. So I'm not using the tray, I'm just using it as it is for this one, no tray. Next, we're going 300 to 500 grams of cabbage. I don't know what is in this, but it will be fine. Oh, 800, that's all right. I'm not panicked. As long as it all fits in the varoma, it's fine. And going next on that one, so setting that aside. Then going for parsley. So on this one here, I don't keep fresh parsley because we have a horrible way of keeping things alive. So the parsley, I actually just change over for some mixed herbs. So I skip the next step here where it says to blend that all up. So there's no issues with that one there. Going through for starting on the onion. So 200 grams brown onion. Just straight in. Oh, I actually got ahead of my scales. I'd actually pre-weighed that, so I know that it's 200. I just haven't let them get going. And then going for 30 grams of oil. This one I'll follow because I don't want to overdo it. Hitting next on that one. As Pearl said, when you're looking at the splash guard, with a TM5, this won't have come standard with yours because you don't have the high heat function with your thermo. Pretty much goes on top, the two little nodule thingies here, lock it in place. So just hit done. And this is where you start using your high heat function. So it's going for 3 minutes. The max speed that you'll have on a Thermomix less than a TM5, less than a TM6 or TM5 or a 31, you'll go to varoma, which is just sort of pushing like the 120. With the max, you actually got to 160 degrees. As you can see, it controls the way that it rotates and how the blades turn. So on the max heat at the moment, you won't be able to hear anything. Shouldn't touch the bowl, we'll get more. You won't be able to hear anything because the blades aren't turning. And it's the one function in guided cooking where it allows the blades to stay still while you're max heating that bowl up to 160 degrees. And you can use that for a heap of functions. I've got that obviously for onion. It uses it again when I put beef in there. But you can use it then for your sweet things. So you can put your sugar in there to really make that honeycomb, that caramel, and everything like that that you couldn't do before you had the high heat function. So it's really, really, really amazing with that. With the splash guard as well, maybe stop me if I'm not supposed to say this. There's a lot of recipes where you say to use your simmering basket to let steam escape. I find I put everything of mine in the dishwasher, like the whole Thermomix. I don't mess about with that. This takes up more space. And so I actually sometimes will put my splash guard on instead of using my simmering basket because it just plops in the dishwasher easier. So that is also another great thing of the splash guard and getting one of those. What else are we going on for here? We're going at some host rewards. So Irene touched very quickly on these, but this is probably one of the best things that you will ever have in your kitchen. I have a friend who doesn't have a Thermomix that says he won't get a Thermomix, but he asked me for a mat. So I got him a mat and I'm sure he will want the dough making machine as well. So the Thermomix can't be far away. But you get the mats, you get the baking mats as well, the silicone ones. They're the best for making pastries and a firm base. They're conductive of heat. They get a pizza base nice and solid. The other one, which Irene touched on as well, is your thermoserver. One of the best things ever. Keeps things hot for 2 hours, cold for 2 hours. So if you're making your risottos, I think Pearl will use hers. You can leave that in the thermoserver if you're making it at 4 or 5 o'clock. It will keep warm till dinner. And same with your ice cream. So if you're doing like a fruity dream, like a healthy ice cream, you can pop that in there. I've left it for about 2-3 hours and it's been all right. But 2 hours, you'd definitely be fine. So yeah, a lot there. The Thermomix is just about done. If you want to pop it back over. So when the splash guard is in place as well, it does lock in place. So it just prevents anything from splattering out. So have a look. They are like nicely sauteed. They've got nice little brown patches on them. Not what you can get from just normally cooking at 120 or on the varoma. Definitely some more color. And the fragrance that comes off as well is, you can just tell they've been browned. They smell so good. So going for, insert measuring cup and mixing bowl. So we're leaving that one, taking the splash guard off, putting the measuring cup back on, 3 seconds, and we're going to speed 5. Rightio. I'll show you what it has done. So 3 seconds in there with my lovely sauteed onions. You've got that. Like, it just smells so good. And because they're already partially cooked as well, the onion sting is gone. So it is great. Just popping that back in and pushing the sides down all the way around. Next, we're going for 150 grams of beef. So again, same with the cabbage. If I'm cooking, I'm going to cook a lot. So I'm going near 500 on that. Again, I'm not too concerned about adding about 150 grams extra. If I was looking at putting more in, I'd add about 20% extra to my cooking time. So just as a guide there. Going back on with the lid and splash guard as well, just straight on top. And we're going max heat for 7. So that's going to get my onion and meat all browned.
Beautiful, thanks, Tom. We're going back to Pearl, I believe. Get that right? Hang on. Yes, Pearl. But I just want to mention, though, that with that high heat function, you must never go under the amount. I know Tom added a bit of meat. You never go under when you've got high heat. Okay, over to you, Pearl.
Yeah. Okay, I have just finished sauteing my rice. Then I put some wine and I'm just adding some water. So 700 grams of water. So $706 grams, which will be okay. Next, some salt. That's the advantage of being in the house. You hear the dogs bark, you hear the noise of the house. Scrape down the bottom. So scrape down the bottom. Just do exactly what the Thermomix is telling you to do. Stop. Now it's telling me place the simmering basket. So I've got a TM5 simmering basket. So I'll just place it here on top. Next, that's because the steam will be, I'll allow the steam to come out. So cook it for 12 minutes. And if you all see, it's just gone automatically on reverse. So my rice is not going to get chopped when I'm cooking. So my temperature is set, my time is set, everything is set. And I'm going to just turn it to speed 1. And it's going to cook for 12 minutes.
Thanks, Pearl, and we'll see what level that wine bottle's at when we come back.
Yes.
Over to Irene.
I think we're trying to tell how to go to AA. Never mind. It's an in joke. As you join our classes, you won't understand, but that's okay. So this is finished steaming for that first 10 minutes. When you lift your lid from your varoma, always face it away from you so that that steam doesn't basically go into your face. Really, really important. So at this point, it's just asking me to stir that chicken, and it's really important you do that. Remember that steam isn't going everywhere, so we just want to make sure that chicken's cooked. We don't want any issues with raw chicken. In here, I've got lots of sliced veggies. I had a lot of time this afternoon, so I was very patient in slicing and dicing. But you can use frozen veggies as well. So in here, I've got some broccolini, I've got some onion, I've got some cauliflower, capsicum, carrot, and I've even used the stems of the broccoli. I don't throw anything away. So that goes straight on top with that. Lid goes back on. So literally, you're still steaming the rice, you're just stirring the chicken, pop the rest of the veg on, and we're putting this on for another 8 minutes. Over to you guys.
Okay, I think we are now back to Tom. Are you ready for us, Tom?
Yeah, I've got 3 minutes left, but just like one of the things that I always forget to mention about the Thermomix, especially during while I'm cooking, is that we're all sitting here watching. And if you've got a Thermomix, you know the beauty of being able to set it and forget it and walk away. But while you're generally cooking on high heat, you have to be right there at the bench, like stirring away, making sure it doesn't burn. And literally, I can just sit here, watch you guys cook and listen to everyone, and I don't have to think about it at all. I know that comes from my sister as well. She's just had a baby, my beautiful niece, Alice. But she just loves the Thermomix because she can be cooking, blah, 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 set it, done, change a nappy, clean up vomit, whatever else. And yeah, she's fine. So it's just the best thing. And like with high heat, being able to not worry about it is really, really cool. It still has a little bit there. Anyone else ready for something, or do we want to wait?
No, we're waiting for you now. You're on. No, but the other thing that Hannah said too was that how wonderful it was that she was able to, I think Alice had woken up and she had to breastfeed, but she could still work the Thermomix while she was breastfeeding.
Yeah, they just had her in her arm and off she went. Yeah.
I'm actually here, guys. Hi.
But,
yeah, we've got Alice here as well. We're both watching. Yeah, it was amazing the other night. I was making risotto and I just was able to chuck everything in one-handed. I was still holding on to Alice and breastfeeding her, and I didn't have to worry about her getting burnt or hot or anything like that. It was really, really good. So yeah, it was.
And we hear Daniel can cook amazing things now too.
Daniel is cooking incredible food now all the time, so it's really good. Yeah,
Fantastic. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah. Daniel actually probably makes, I'd say, some of the best desserts I've ever had out of the Thermomix. The fudges are just the best. So definitely give them a go. We're almost there. If you go back to the Thermomix, you can actually see the amount of steam coming out of it. Again, those blades aren't moving heaps. They're just nicely browning away and yeah, cooking off a lot of that moisture. This is the other reason why when you need to let moisture escape, I don't see the issue with using the splash guard over the simmering basket because it does a pretty good job. So, yeah.
However, you must, if it says use the splash guard, you must use the splash guard. You can't replace it the other way around.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's only one way.
Yep.
Yeah, don't use it the other. Yeah, and a big thing as well, yeah, what you said, Mandy, before, when you're doing amounts with browning and high heat is, yeah, never do below, always, you can add a bit more, but yeah, never go over it. A really cool thing we're about to see, as Mandy said, you've got a smart connected kitchen with your TM6. And a recent thing that we all just got was our updating for safety and the cooling down function. So it actually didn't do it in that recipe and I thought it would, but you now have your adjusted times for cooling down and they're fantastic. Rightio, going next, scraping the bottom of the bowl and the blades with the spatula. So you can see what I've got here. It is nicely browned and pretty much actually almost cooked, but it is looking good. And I'm just removing all of that meat from being around the blades. Nice good stir along the bottom. Nice. And we're going to add 350 grams of our mushrooms. I know this is over again, but it is fine as long as it squishes under the max line, and we're all good, which it does. We're going for our 50 grams of tomato paste. With everything as well, you just need to put it on top. It's not a real panic about stirring it through because the Thermomix will do all of that for you. And going 100 grams of white wine. This one I guessed, so we'll see what happens. A little bit extra, that's fine. It'll cook off. And going for the meat stock, I haven't made my meat stock yet in the Thermomix, so I'm using my veggie stock. Again, I like a lot of flavour packed into things. So it says 1 tablespoon, and I'm going to do 1 and pretty much 2. Just because I like things a little bit more salty. Ground paprika, just do a shake of that in. Salt to taste. Because I put the extra stock in, I'm not going to go overboard. And pepper. Pepper's always great. I love pepper, so I always do extra. And Dijon mustard, it's going for a teaspoon. I'm going to do a tablespoon, just because I like my flavour. But even following the recipe on this, it comes out amazingly well. It's just that because I've got extra mushrooms, a bit of extra beef, I'm going to put a bit of extra of everything else in as well. So on this one here, popping the lid on and putting the varoma in place. So if you remember, we did the cabbage at the beginning. It is all sitting pretty well away from the vents under there. There's heaps of space. So it's just going straight on top, and we're going to cook the whole lot all together. We're going for 15 minutes.
Lovely, thanks, Tom. Do you want to come back to me, Bern, quickly, please? Okay, so whilst all that was going on, my salmon actually, I've gone through a couple of steps, but I will show you what they were. So I basically had to take the varoma off, and Irene showed you about that, how important it is to tilt the lid away from you. So it said set the varoma aside. I had to remove the simmering basket using my spatula. Remember, we've got the hook in here, a little hole in the simmering basket, so that came out like that. And then I've got my broccoli and my garlic clove there, which I just had to run underneath cold water just to stop it from cooking anymore. Okay, so to that. Then set the broccoli and garlic aside to drain, done that. Return varoma position and steam for another 4 minutes. So that also has happened. And I have my piece of fish sitting in here in the oval thermosaver. Then transfer the salmon to a thermal serving bowl, rinse and dry a mixing bowl. Really important that when you do that, this is when I would actually use that turbo to make sure it was extra dry. I'm just going to finish this off now. 50 grams of Parmesan, 6 sprigs of fresh parsley, popping the lid on. So 7 seconds speed out. Seconds speed out. Sorry, I've probably prepared myself when I said that one. There we go, beautiful cheese. I said no preservatives, no anti-cake flavor. Love it. 60 grams of raw almonds. So I've just got these here. If you haven't got almonds, you could use other nuts. It's the same with any pesto. You don't have to use pine nuts. Again, you can see we all adapt things. My sister-in-law was down from Cairns last week, had to go back in a hurry, but I bought a whole lot of leaves because that's what she's eating at the moment. So instead of having rocket, I've got, this is a mixture of kale and spinach. So that's going in. Use it up rather than go and buy something else. The reserved broccoli and the garlic. So that's going in, just tipping that in there. Popping the lid on. Speed 6 for 4 seconds. One of the things I love about this is you can use them the leaves of radishes for you buy the radishes by the bunch. Don't chuck the leaves out. Use them make pesto out of them. Anything in any leafy thing you can use to make pesto. You could use celery leaves. You could do whatever. So instead of chucking things out, just try and use things. I'm going to try to be as much zero waste as possible, and just think of ways of using whatever we can. I've got two teaspoons. I'm doing a little guesstimate on here. There we go. All right, 10 seconds, speed 2. We're on reverse now, so it's just mixing everything up. And what we're going to do now is actually head back to Irene, and I think she's ready for us for the next stage.
Okay, great. Okay, so again, away from my face. I'm literally using this as my drip tray. So my chicken and my vegetables are coming off. And I'm just going to set those aside for a second. Okay. I've got my rice. Sorry. Come to here. Use your little clip on your spatula. It's actually moved. 1 second, guys. And because I didn't rinse out the bowl, it's gone yellow. But it'll be delicious. So I'm just going to pop that onto my plate. I'll sort that out in a minute. I've actually got my little mini 1 litre thermoserver. That's where my rice is going to go, so that's going to keep it nice and warm. Let's pour out this water.
Those veggies are so colourful. Looks amazing.
Aren't they gorgeous? Okay, so
Eat the rainbow.
I've got some snow peas. They're going to go into my bowl. As are my veggies and my chicken. I'm going to do the chicken first. And my satay sauce is going back in. I'm so looking forward to dinner tonight, Mandy.
Our favourite meal.
Mandy's made this a few times at some of our classes, and this is my first go at it. And oh my God, it smells amazing. You guys have to do this one.
It's delicious. Again,
I'm not washing out my thermoserver because my sauce and things are going straight back in there. So lid on, and this basically needs 5 minutes, 90 degrees, speed soft on reverse, so we're not mushing up our meat, just to basically stir through and warm through. So I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Lovely. Thanks, Irene. We are over to Pearl. Please, Boone.
Just in time. I just thought of Tom actually because it was cooling down, but it was 8 seconds late. Any case, now the next step, I'll take off. My risotto is cooked, so I have to put 100 grams of pancetta which the girls, I send them shopping, they forgot it. So I'm going to use bacon. And they don't allow
Love how we can all be so flexible.
Yes, it's good. Next, the reserved spinach. Just stir it around. Though the Thermomix will do it for me, but I'll just stir it a bit. Okay. Then next, place a simmering basket again. Next, you can make different types of risotto. You don't have to make this green risotto. You can make pumpkin risotto, mushroom risotto, different types of risotto, and they'll also all be quick. They don't take time. And it's on speed 1, and it's gone back to reverse. So it's for 2 minutes for to cook. Yeah.
Thanks, Pearl. Just want to know from Tom how he's going, please. Oh. You're on mute.
Going well. I've got 6 minutes to go.
Okay,
so...
that's all right. You don't have to talk for 6 minutes. I'll go on to Cookie Do. It's all right. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen. So this is our lovely Cookie Do platform. This is where our landing page. We can scroll down. We can see what's being made most at the moment. In the previous lockdown, we had cocktails up here all the time, I can tell you. Look at that, mocha ice cream cake with champagne snaps. So people have got time to have a little bit of a play. Most cooked at the moment, we've got, chocolate volcanoes. I've seen a few of those pop up on people's Facebook feeds over the weekend. Pancakes, pancake day today. So I made some pancakes this morning, some gluten-free ones. All right, so that just shows you sort of what's current. You can go into here and you can start looking for recipes. So look at this. I was looking. This is amazing. If you haven't ever made this bacon and cranberry jam. Oh, you're not going to get it because I'm not in the right country. All right. So forget that for a minute, and I'll just take you through the filters. So you can look by recipe or you can look by collection. The collections just give you a little bit of an idea. If you're looking, say, if you want to make a nice cake, you can click onto the Bundt collection. Festive flavor, it's great for Christmas. It's great for all entertaining, which obviously we're not doing this 5 days. The low carb book is fabulous. The homemade yogurt, I did a thing with a couple of customers a couple of weekends ago. Do you know how easy it is to make yogurt? Just incredible. Bern's a good big sourdough girl, so she's good at that. But you can see all sorts of things. Actually, I've just realized there is a new collection. That is a new collection. She did one earlier this last year, and these are brand new recipes. They've come up today.
Ooh.
I know. Coconut sage spritz. That looks interesting. All right, so we can look at that one later. All right, so you can look by collections, or when you go by recipes, the best thing to do is add filters in. So go to your filters, scroll down, and just because there are 2 ways you can do this. So I'm just going to add in, because I want to see if there's any other new collections, United Kingdom and the United States. So we've got 7,600 recipes. I'm just going to go on collections and see, oh, that's new too. Keeping it cozy with your blade cover. So that just shows you, that's probably, let's have a look and see where that's from. I'll just click into, oh, here we are for you, Irene, Greek chicken with orzo and feta. So when you're looking at a recipe.
Oh, sorry, a very quick hack for your filters as well, which I actually learned from Hannah and Daniel, is if you go to your filters and untick all of your countries and then just tick English.
Yes, I do that. I was just showing this way because
sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. No, that's all right. I've learned that from Irene too. But I'm showing this way because otherwise it doesn't show you the latest English collections.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to show with this, I'll show the other way in a minute. But this, when you're looking at a recipe, This is using the blade cover, so it's going to be a slow cook. And it tells you the length of time, the preparation time, how difficult it is, and the number of portions. And when you come down, look, there's a lot of ingredients, but a lot of them are herbs and things that you would actually have in your cupboard. It gives you the nutritional value down here, and it gives you tips and tricks if there's anything that you need to know there. All right, so that was finding new collections. But what I'm going to do now is go back to recipes. I'm going to get rid of the United States and the United Kingdom, and I'm going to show you the way that Tom was saying before. We'll get rid of Australia, and we go into filters. We come down here, and we go English. And that will give us 8,393 recipes that we can look through. Now, we can also, it usually puts the most recent recipes up towards the beginning. We also go into filters now. We can have a look and actually, say if we let's look at pasta and rice dishes. We can also go down here and we can say, if you've got an ingredient you want to use up in the fridge, just pop it in here. Zucchini is my default. So that goes in there. If I want to put in gluten-free, that's going to take out all the pasta dishes, which we know we can substitute gluten-free pasta in. And we would just be left with rice dishes. So I'm not going to put that in there. You can choose the difficulty. The preparation time, I don't sort of mind so much. It's usually how long is the whole meal going to take. You can also look at portions. So say you want 6 portions, we've got 99 results. So then you can go in here and just have a bit of a look and see, check out the different dishes. You can have a bit of a look in there and see look at that one, light and fresh beet pasta. That looks amazing. If you like the look of that and you think, okay, so that's from the US. You can tell that because it's ounces. That doesn't matter because your Thermomix will automatically change to ounces. All right. If it's something you think, actually, I'd like to give that a go, you can either add it to a collection. You can create a collection. I'm just going to call it collection A because it's easy to find at the moment. But you would make it your pasta collection or your zoodle collection or whatever. I'm going to add it to my week. Oh, I'm going to put that in. Hang on. I went to my week instead of adding it to my week. That was silly. Add to my week. Pop it in there for Thursday. I can add it to my shopping list. All right. I've got all of those there. And so I would just then keep going through that. Having used that filter, I'd go through all these pasta and rice dishes and add them to my collection, whether it's a rice collection or a pasta collection, so I know where to find them later on. Obviously, you can change your filters. I did want to actually find the mushroom risotto because I wanted to show you something in there. Mushroom risotto TM6. Oh no, that was actually, yeah, mushroom risotto. So you can see you have some TM6 versions, but so that will use high heat, or the mushroom risotto, which is a TM5 or a TM31 version. But I know in this one, I scrolled down earlier, in the tips, it actually gives you all the instructions on how to make a chicken and pea risotto. So it's always worth looking at the tips at the bottom of the recipe. So leave the mushrooms, add the stock paste, or you can read all that. So it's always worth having a look at the tips and hints. If I go into my recipes, I've got that collection there that I've just made. I have a whole lot of collections, different things. I've got my 30-minute meals. All these meals we're doing tonight are in there. Basics, Christmas entertaining, gifts, cocktails, curries according to calories, dairy-free options, dishes to make from prep ahead meals, gluten-free breads and pastries. That was when I went away. So if you're going away somewhere and you're not going to have, you have power but you don't have internet, if you create a list, then your recipes will be available for you up there. So it's the same. I don't know if anybody was trying to get on this morning, but we had no cookie dough this morning. It was down, maintenance. But if you've actually created a list, so I'd made a list. I can't remember what it was, but I wanted something this morning. Oh, the pancake list. I made a pancake list. 29 different pancake recipes. So my pancake recipe that I wanted was already here. I didn't have to worry about not being able to access cookie dough. We go into my week. We find, those are the pancakes I made this morning, delicious. We find that recipe, where was it? There. That's in there now, so it will come up on my screen the 18th of February. And if I go into here, I'll get rid of, this is my shopping list. I'll get rid of that one. I've been shopping for these two, so I don't need to do that. Show my ingredients. I'll have a look. I think I would need to buy pistachios. I don't need water. I would need to buy the linguine. I'd need to buy the goat's cheese, not the butter. You get rid of the things that you don't need. If you need to add anything else, just type it in here and add it. Then, of course, Cookie Doo is available as an app on your phone, but you can also just go here, you can share, and you can copy and paste it or email it to somebody else. So it is super, super convenient. Just the app on your phone is, Irene's ready. We'll go back to her in just a mo. But the app on your phone, I don't know if you can, it's a bit hard to show you that, but can you see the little Thermomix there? And in there, everything I've just done on my shopping list, if I come to my shopping list, will be there. I don't know if you remember, there were pistachios and linguine and stuff like that. So that's all there immediately. Take that shopping, don't have to write any list anymore. Okay, we will head back to Irene.
Great. Okay, so I've got my rice all ready to go. So that's going to keep it nice and hot for a couple of hours. My satay is ready to go as well. Now, you'll see my sauce is pretty thick. Couple of things I would suggest, well, I guess the one main thing I would suggest is the right coconut cream. I use Cara brand. I get this at most Asian grocers. This is the one that's been recommended to me by one of my wonderful Chinese chefs. It's very thick. So I know people use Ayam or Ayam, sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, which is available from the supermarket. Some have more water content, so you can end up with quite a watery sauce. So that's the one I use. That works for me. You can get them online, most of your Asian grocers. In terms of some of the other products we used in the recipe, just in case it's stuff you haven't used before, tamarind paste or tamarind puree. You can find fresh tamarind at the market and basically cook it down yourself, but this is probably easier. In terms of sweeteners, I use monk fruit sweetener. This is a 0-calorie sugar. So if you're trying to, I guess, reduce some of those sauces or some of the sweetness in those sauces, or I guess the calories in those is good. And tamari. Tamari is a soy sauce, but it's a gluten-free soy sauce. So really, really good if you've got any allergies at home and you're like, what the hell is tamari? Well, tamari is a soy sauce. That's probably all the ingredients I've used tonight, but probably a little bit different to what most people would use.
Lovely, thanks. Irene. Okay, I think we might, well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you my salmon dish because it is ready. So here we are. That's the broccoli pesto with a beautiful piece of salmon on there. It says it serves 2. Obviously, I would do more salmon, but the pesto, honestly, even if you just added a couple more veggies, it could easily do, it would definitely serve 3, if not 4. But it is a super easy, super delicious dish, really healthy, nice and fresh. Okay, so Tom, are you ready for us?
So I did finish a little bit ago, but because I had extra cabbage, I did just extend the cooking time a bit. So, looking down. So cabbage is all done. So this is basically just a substitute then for your rice. So it's just healthier. Really, really yum. My stroganoff is done as well. Look at that. Nice. So I'm popping it in my thermoserver because I'm actually going to store it in the fridge in this as well. So that's it as it's come out of the bowl. It's pretty much empty. It smells amazing. It's so good. From here, I've got my small amount of sour cream. And if you're dairy-free, you can do a dairy-free option of sour cream, or you can do a coconut cream or whatever you like. But you just add that in at the very last moment there, stir it around, and she's done.
That's delicious.
Thank
we had that
you.
last week. It's amazing. So good. Thank you,
Yeah,
Tom.
so good. It's the best. No
Yeah,
worries.
great.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, Pearl, let's go to you.
Okay, my rice is cooked. Now it's telling me to place, it's the last part. Place a bowl onto the mixing lid. Now my scales, you can see the 3 dots here. You press the 3 dots, it goes back to your scales. And it's telling me to weigh 50 grams of green peas, frozen green peas, which are thawed. Come back to my recipe. And 20 grams of unsalted butter. So I'll just put this. Again, I go back to my scales. It's done. Next, transfer it to the bowl. So I'll go back to my thing and show it to you. This is my risotto. That's cooked. And in this, I'm going to just mix this. And it's good. And then I can add the Parmesan cheese and they can add it to whatever they want. So I'll just combine this. And because it's in the cooked, covered and kept, the peas will get cooked and the butter will melt. And that's my dinner for tonight.
Beautiful. Thank you, Pearl. All right. So does anyone else want to show anything else, or are you all good?
Yeah.
All good? All right. So does anyone have any questions? Oh, lovely. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention, guys, anyone who's, I saw the word low carb option, if you don't want to do rice, do some cauliflower rice. There's a recipe when you do the creamy coconut chicken curry, but yeah, it's delicious. So coconut rice would be great for a low carb option.
Beautiful. Okay, so just lastly, if you can come back to me, Boone, please. Wake up in the Northern Lights. I just want to thank the team for coming on board and for helping tonight and doing this. I want to thank you guys for coming, because otherwise there's no much point in us doing it. And if you like what you see and you think you could do this as well, we would love to have you on board, or talk to your consultant if you've got one already about becoming a consultant. We have so much fun. You can see there's a few in-house jokes. The teamwork is just fabulous, and we all pull together. And as I said, as a branch, we've done an amazing job over the weekend. I think we've had 6 or 7 different events on between us, each team leader supporting each other, and all the consultants in the branch too. So if it's something that you're interested in, please contact your consultant. And we have information sessions. It doesn't commit you to anything, but if you're a little bit curious, come along to one of those. We've got one on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, or 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. But thank you so much, all of you, for coming. Yeah, I hope it has been some inspiration for you. Thank you, Sandra. And it is, we love doing all this in lockdown. Lockdown's a bit of a blessing for us. We can spend more time cooking and sharing with you guys. So thank you all for coming, and we'll hopefully see you again soon. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.